So second point someone asked for was regarding blessings, which this is pretty easily exemplified and pretty easy to explain. So if you just go in YOLO, do nothing, if I just put 5 units, no blessing, you get your 80 left team. And sure, you can use any unit you want, but there's just such a huge discrepancy between using 0 and all blessed. So the non-blessed team scores at 80. This is taking into account that they don't even decide to even use a single bonus hero. You put in the bonus hero, now it starts scoring around 100. So each of these blessings do matter on the long term, because it's almost a double up in difference, or in the case that you use one bonus, it's 1.6 times difference, and you multiply that by all your matches, that makes a huge difference over the long term. So I think it's at least important to use one mythic, because you gotta think about it in this way. Let's say I'm running a team with just one Naga, and then I'm running a bunch of other Astra Blessed. Between this and the non-blessed, even if I lose 2 units when I'm playing with this team, I'm still going to score the same as someone who's running 0 blessed. So it just behooves you, if you can do moderately well, you should at least run your team blessed. It gives you leeway in terms of losing a unit, but still scoring well. That I think it's foolish to not at least run your mythics in it. Sure, you get the slot, or 2 slots in the case you run 2, which is fair enough, but the more you run, the more leeway you have to lose units while still scoring. If you're running 2 mythics, you can still lose 1 unit and still score the same as someone who used one mythic. Alright, so that's point 1 about blessings for each season. And now, someone did ask also, is it worth it to rotate your blessings? So let's say you have a really strong core in light. Let's say you blessed all your best units for light. In this case, let's say I run throughout the whole week something like this, then Keaton, Ike, and a dancer. So I don't think on the long term it's a good idea, because the way the system works. If there was not a bonus system, I would make an argument that it's sometimes worth re-blessing on certain weeks, or if the meta has shifted, which I'll explain what exactly I mean by meta later on today in the discussion. But because of the way you have to burn blessings on a bonus unit if you want to optimally score, I think it's better to commit harder to one unit to this season rather than say, I'm going to use Ike during Light and Astra because I've pretty heavily invested into him. I think it's better to analyze and think, is this unit going to be performed better on average on this season, or is it going to perform better on the other season? And again, I'm going to explain how you can analyze that a little bit later. But the basic answer is it's generally not a good idea to rotate your blessings out and about. You will burn yourself out of blessings eventually down the line, and your score will suffer because of it, because you won't be able to bless the bonus unit of the week. Alright, so that's that point. Okay. And this is more of a general point of what is required of you to do well in AR. And a lot of the investment, the most major investment you're going to make in AR is a time. Primarily, you're going to invest time. You have to know that to do well in AR, you're going to have to put a certain amount of time aside. Whether that's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, is entirely up to you. But there is definitely a time investment period that you are going to have to be like, this is worth it, and this is the time I'm going to put into it. So most of that time will come into your actual matches, but there will be some time investment into making your defense team, into also making your AR offense team, and other times it's just about brainstorming of what you're going to be doing in investment, or if you're going to be pulling on this banner. The majority of that is just going to be time. Other than that, the other investment opportunities that you will have to invest for doing well in AR is you will have to set aside resources. Most of it is going to be in terms of skills. So let's say the biggest example I can put right now is Ike. So he comes with a good base kit, but in order to make him perform well in AR, you have to give him distant counter, a good B skill, and refine his weapon. And if you really wanted to do well, you do have to give him feathers, you also have to give him merges, and that's all investments in terms of feathers for, not exactly, so there's orbs in terms of merges, dew for his weapon, skill inheritance, and also support, which is typically, again, also orbs. In this case, his sports are typically either Keaton, most famously Brave Lucina. Also cases you could run him with Mailcorn. So you do have to realize when you're going to do AR that there is also the resource costs. Alright, and I think that's primarily what the cost of doing well in AR is. It's a matter of time and resource costs. Those are the basic levels of AR, and I just wanted to get that put aside. And now we're going to go into the actual, what I would call the medium level discussions.